So like your branding, from a branding perspective, what are some tips that you give? So LinkedIn have all these settings that I think you have a checklist too. From an overall branding perspective,
actually,
how do you?
let's leave we'll leave the checklist. That's a better, we can leave that in the call notes or the podcast notes.
Yeah, definitely. From a branding perspective, what else? What else people need to think about?
So from a branding perspective, search yourself online. What do you find? That's the first thing to do. Like, just figure out, because the reality is any job that you're applying to, they're going to look at you first if they're even considering you, but that's a whole nother story. So LinkedIn needs to be optimized. You got to have, obviously your experience on there and a nice picture. I'm not going to go through all the very basic details, but from a more strategic perspective, trying to figure out, like, if this company's trying to solve this problem, they're giving you the words that you should use in your personal branding, in your LinkedIn, in your resume, in your cover letters, in the job descriptions.
Yeah.
All of the words that you should be using are within those job descriptions. So if you look at, say, 5 to 10 job descriptions and you start to figure out this word is being used this much, this word is being used this much, you can go to wordclouds.com. You can literally paste multiple job listings in there, post the requirements in there, and you can figure out what words are they using the most. It literally gives you a list that says this word 10 times, this word 8 times. Those words that are most frequently used in the most amount of job descriptions that look like what it is that you want to do should be reflected in your brand. It's very simple, but a lot of people don't ever do this. They use their own words. I was talking to a client earlier today, and she's kind of in the beginning stages of a lot of this. And she was like, yeah, I used to like avoid the words that they were using because I wanted them to think that I was capable of thinking on my own. And I was like, oh, wow. I never thought of it like that people would actually think that they need to like change all of it on purpose. And it's just like when you're going through applicant tracking systems, or when they're looking at your resume, they're looking at your LinkedIn, they need to see the words that they're using to describe the person that they want. It's so obvious to me.
So you're saying that if I'm a job seeker and if I see a job description, if they list out 10 things that they want, you're saying that I should have those 10 things reflected on my resume. And it's not cheating, but employers actually like that.
Those words need to show up somewhere. And if they're like in your headline on your LinkedIn is SEO searchable. So that means when hiring managers are searching for candidates and they're searching for sales executive for their sales executive position, if you have that in your headline, you're actually searchable. If you have seeking new opportunities, you don't. So that is two things that I've seen that are absolute abominations of this whole finding job process that LinkedIn is actually really messed up, is that they offer this open for work profile thing over your picture.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that.
Awful,
that a lot.
Awful. The worst. Literally the worst. In addition to that, people putting seeking new opportunities, seeking remote opportunities in their headline. Those two things are for sure ways to not get a response ever. And I'll tell you why. Because who does that focus on? When you put open to work, I'm seeking new opportunities in your headline, who is that focused on?
It's on the applicant side. It's not solving a business problem.
And what's a job search about?
It's about solving a business problem. For the business.
The company. Yeah.
Yep.
So if I'm focused on me and I say open to work and you are looking like the other million people on the platform who are also open to work, what are you expecting? You're expecting someone to see that and say, we should help this person out. They're open to work. It's just like the logic to me is just, and I'm sorry if you're offended by this, but I want you to be jarred by that so that you change the way you think, because it's a sheep mentality. to see open to work, and be like, oh, I'm going to put that on my profile. Maybe companies will start to give me a chance. It's like, no, the companies aren't giving you a chance because you're not solving their problems. And you being open to work doesn't solve their problems either.
This is worth highlighting again. So Jordan, you're saying that companies or hiring people are not these really nice people that are trying to, like solve people's problem and like really give them opportunity to work. You're saying they're out for themselves to, find the right candidate who will solve the problem for the business.
I'm saying that when they go filter people, they don't start with who has the open for work photo. Let's start with those people. Yeah.
The green tag, and there's millions of them right now.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a really interesting insight. I think this is something that people can take right away and change there and really highlight, the title that they're looking for, because recruiters are searching those titles. So
and you can put that you're open for work in the recruiter settings. There are literally settings in your profile that show to recruiters only that you're open. That is useful because that comes up within the filtering search. So it's just like, if anybody's saying like, oh, well, how are they going to know that I'm open? It's like most recruiters, most people, they're not just searching for people that are seeking opportunities. In fact, a lot of times recruiters want people who are hired already because they know that they're employable. It's like that. It's like that forbidden fruit. It's like, I want what I can't have. So 100%. Like the ultimate catch for a recruiter is someone who's already bomb at a job that they're doing right now, and they can get them to come over to their company.
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We will sure to come back with more exciting videos on Agile topics.